Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith. 1016 puzzles solved. Where were we at? 2 on the watchtower. We know those are the 2 that I'm struggling with. 10 still on difference. Did I really give up that fast over here, or did we just not try? I don't remember. Oh, difference and inequality are different. We did a bunch of inequality. There is some difference left. And that's loopy. Okay. Let's see if we can get some of this done, shall we? 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 5, 5, 6. God, there's a lot of tricky stuff over here. This one, I swear I tried doing this recently. I did try doing that recently. God. Maybe this isn't where my brain wants to be right now. Well, that gets a box around it. It's a start. This right here is part of a 2. 2 difference to 2 is a 4. It can either go that way, and then this is a 4, and then this is something else entirely. Or this goes this way, and these are both 4s. What else do I know? There must be... Oh, okay, the same story is true up here. This is a 2. Which means this is a 5. What else do we know? Gosh, it doesn't feel like it's giving me a lot. It's just Palisade and difference. There's nothing else going on here. If this were to do this, it would have to do that. That could make that 4. Which would put that on a cap and do this. Like, it's technically possible, but I don't feel great about it necessarily, because it really wasn't built in any kind of foundation of logic other than going, could we do this? I guess, okay, hold on. Doing this is a no, because we can't do that. Yes, we can. Because we can do that. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? That is viable. So this would also be a 2. And then what? It's a great question. Obviously, that could do this, but it could not. What else can we get out of any of this? This is doing this or this. It's not very helpful. This has to be a 5. Okay, here's something. This 5 either cuts to here or cuts to there, which means this guy is going to get either a wall here, leaving that existing, which it can't because that can't leave that like that, or this is going to exist and that's going to have to pick up those. That can pick up the 5. That becomes a dead end. That then does this with that. It could be bigger than that, in fact, but it has to do that. If that's a 5, then this is a 4, which means that is the 2. Oh, excuse me. This is a 4 or a 6. 5 minus 3 would be 2, which could be that. Doesn't have to be. I'm going to rip this up because we clearly found a way that made it viable this way or this way, and so we don't actually know which of those was correct. This 5 line, I feel like, is correct, and so we can continue to try and make some progress here. If this is 4 or 6, the same method from this 5 applies, in that it's either going to do this, which would make this 5, 6. If that was there, it would be 5, 6, 6 can't be. 5, 4, 5. I don't think this can go down. But the point I was working towards is that this either has to do this or this, which means this is either going to do that, but I don't think this can make a 4 or a 6 that way. So this is going to do this, and that's going to do that. Minimum. That gets that to a 4. How am I making this a 5? I can't. I'm stumped. Right, let me recheck this 5 over here. You know what? We can do that. It's fine. So, we know that this is part of either this domino or this domino, which makes it a 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. This 5 has to either gain value here, which puts a wall there, which makes that true and breaks that, or there, which gives this a wall and makes that true. Now, with that being true, it's actually that way. So that's what we had before. Okay. Last time I did this and that, but I think we could actually do this or something. That would make an 8. But actually we could then pick that up and make it a 7. Oh god. Excuse me, make it a 9. And then these would have to be part of an 8. I don't know if I could make an 8 out of all that. Okay, well. Glad we found the source of a bunch of potential errors. But we know this is a 2, this is a 5. The 5 has to get out this way because it can't get out that way. And so... Oh, wait. This can't be bigger than it is because it has to be 5 big. What am I going on about? So if this is a 2, this is the 5. And so that's a fixed 5. That's 5 minus 3 is 2. Then it's 5 plus or minus 1. This was a 4, 6. That's how far we got. And going through it a second time now, I'm still happy that that is the way that it is. But this cannot do that. It's invalid. Which means that does that. So this 4, 6. Well, this now has its line. So this remains true. That has to pick that up. Okay, so the first time we did through this, we got to a lot of this, and it seems like I'm reasonably happy in the path I took, doing the exact same path again. So then what? This cannot take on this. So that has to do that. And then these 3 cells are left ambiguous, because that could be a thing, or that could be a thing. It's this one here that is baffling me. Because this would be a 1, this can't be a 2. It can be a 2. It can go 1 to 2, 2 to 5. Okay. I like that a lot. How do we get this to be a 4 or a 6 then? This now has a line. That gets to 5, but I can't take another piece of this. I can't take that one, I can't take that one, I can't take that one. And now I'm stuck again. Because that can't exist. This has to be 2. This has to be 5. This has to be 4 or 6. I mean, it could be... This now has a line backing up to it, so that has to do that. That can't be a 1. I don't see where I can change anything about this at all. But clearly it's not right. Up to about here, I think. God. Is there anywhere else I can get an in to this puzzle? It's just Palisades and Difference and nothing else. Well, we can see that stuff like this would either have to be a 1-4 or a 2-5 or a 3-6, but it could also be inverted of that, couldn't it? So that doesn't really help me. Let's look at this guy here. It has top, right, and bottom as possible openings. If the opening is on that side, then this has to do this. And then can't take that. So the opening is not here. If the opening is on this side, that takes that, can't take that. So this is this. Oh my god. Guys. Guys. Did you see it all that time ago and you didn't tell me? I can't believe you didn't tell me. Wait. No, wait. No, okay, no. I was on such an incorrect tangent that I thought was going to change everything, but no. You shouldn't have told me because it was wrong. I was like, 2? 3? What if it went the other way, but that would be -1? It can't do that. This must be 2, this must be 5. The 5 must get out. This must be 4 or 6. If this goes this way... Hold on. That would be 4. But then this would be 4. This would need to be 3, which it can't be. I can't do that. I can't do that. I don't know where I've gone wrong to make none of this work. I really don't. All right, tell me, is this correct? Interesting. Okay. My foundation was incorrect. So that's upsetting. This... I still stand by that this must be a 2. And 2 plus 3 is 5. So how else could I make this do 5? Oh. Something like that is so viable, isn't it? God damn it. Okay, well, that's going to change some things. Let's explore that for a minute then. So I was so intent on this either having to go to here or to here. If this was bottom lane, it can't leave that alone. Which leaves that as a possibility of right lane. Which puts that in there, that in there. That like that, that like that. Okay. Does this now work? It feels like I still have the same problem that this is a 5. This is a 4-6, and I can't build the 4-6 out of this. Can I ever get this to not touch that? No. Not that I can see it. That makes that big problem. Oh. Nope. Has to be 5 because of the 2. If this were a 6, then this would have to be a 5. And that's not going to work, is it? I don't see it at all, and I'm mad about it. Is this now correct? Okay. We figured out that mistake. So, that must do that. Oh, hold on. That could be a 4. Then that would be a 4. But this can't be a 3. be a 5. Okay. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, I think we got there. But man, if I didn't mess this one up and mess this notion up over here as well. Okay. Is that going to mean that for this has to be a pair, which puts those at 1s. That's going to put this at a 4. One plus 3 is 4. How am I going to do that with this guy here? I don't know that I am. Let's put some numbers in here. 4, 3. This is a 1, 7. This is a 4. This is a 2, 6. This is also a 2, 6. This is a 4. This is a 4. This is a 4. Okay. This does this. It's a problem. If that does that, it's also a problem. God, I hope I'm working off correct information here. I think this is going to be a 6, because this has to be minimum. It's greater than 4. And that would mean six. Can I get this to go with this pair of parallel lines? Can't do that. Can't do that, can't do that. There's got to be an error, right? Yeah. Are we correct up till here? No. Oh. God damn, dude. Are we correct up to here? No. Oh my god. There's still a mistake? Oh, these are 2. No. There's still a mistake. Oh, God. How far back is this mistake? Okay, so that has to pick that up. That could pick that up, I guess. But I have no logic for that. That's just the route that works when everything else didn't work, you know? Well, we could do 5 minus 3 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2, which puts that at that. Does that seem plausible? Problem is then this has to pick up these and this, which it can't. It can't do that. I'm so lost in the source. Have I solved any puzzles yet? I don't think so. Did I do a 4 at the start of all of this? I don't remember. Right, so this is what I've got that is true and correct. Right. Stick with what we know. This must do this. Doesn't have to pick up that. This is a 4 or a 6. The only 4 that I've been able to see that works is this one. I can't see any 6 that works at all. But then that goes to 4. That goes to 5. Okay, this is correct. Which means... Oh, this doesn't have to do this. That can do that. And then this could be like a 3 or a 2 and a 1. That's where a lot of other stuff probably went wrong. Okay, interesting. Right, this has to get out. This is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 plus or minus 1 is a 1 or a 3. How does that look? Is that different to what we did before? I think it must be, right? Because now... No, because we still end up with 4, 4, 4 here. And I feel like that was an issue previously. Yeah, okay. Take that back. This is fine. Right, show me things that I know to be true. This must get out. This is 5 big. This is 2 big. 5 minus 3 is 2. Lock that in. This is a 1 or a 3. What else do I know? We do know that this is a 4 minus 3 is a 1, 7. And there's going to be a line here because they can't be in the same area. And this is a 2, 4, or 2, 6. Four plus minus 2 is 2 or 6. 4 plus or minus 2 is a 2 or a 6. Maybe we need to do this and then work that way round. This needs to be greater than 4. Which means they probably end up with this. Because if it didn't, it would have to be that as the 5 or something. And this would have to be humongous to get out. Or be a 2. It could be a 2. Yeah, that could be a 2. I feel like I'm not putting in a good showing today. This can't be a 7 because we can't get past that. So that's a 1. Should have seen that ages ago. If you get the line It could be something like that, except it can't because this could be 2 and 1 or 2 and 1, and we can't have ambiguous solutions. So it can't be that. We know this is a 2 and this is a 4, because this has to be part of a domino. If this does this, that could do that. But we also know that it could do that. But there's no version where we can do 4-4-4 with a 1-3 and a 2-2, right? There's no version of this being 4 that works. So, does that mean that this has to go this way? That would put this at a 1. Which would mean this has to be a 2, which can't be... no, that could be a 1. That could be a 2, that could be a 2. That would be valid. If this was a 2, this would have to be a 4. This would have to be 2 and 3, 5. That seems unlikely. Oh, I'm getting nowhere with this. And I feel like all of this is still super ambiguous. So once again, this bit's correct. This must get out. This must be 2. This must be 4. This has to be greater than 4. I think it's going to join up with those 6s and be a 6 in some description. Am I just going to do a bifurcation route from this 4? How did I make this work with the... Oh, it would be that. So, this is one possibility. Then we'd go... Well, I don't think it can be this, because this and this and this and this would have to all be different. And we couldn't do like 2, 4, 5. So that looks less good. So then we'd have this option. Which would have to be this. But then I don't think this can be a... Oh, this could be a... No, it'd have to be a 1-4. And I just don't think that can be a 1-4. Why can't my brain do this today? I'm having a bad brain day. What obvious thing have I been missing? That's the real question. Okay. This cell here is either a 1 or a 2. Because it's either this or this. It can't be anything else. 1 plus 3 is 4, or 2 plus 3 is 5. If it's a 2, then it would have to be a 5 with a 4 right here. Is that fine? I think that's all fine. Getting there from the other direction. Can I fill in this bit accordingly? Please say I can. One, 1, 1, 2, 2. Oh my god. That was not a strong showing. And we got there, but I ain't doing any more puzzles today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.